Hello everybody, this is Scarecrow, and we are back with Snatcher. We're here moving into Act 3 after finishing Act 2. We had quite a bit happen in the last act. It turned out the Chief was a Snatcher the whole time, and that did not go well for us, so the only members of Junker left are Gillian and Mika. Apparently the Kyoto summit is still going to go on, despite the fact that the Chief turned out to be a Snatcher, so I don't know what's going to happen to us. But we also got a call from Jamie that she remembered her past, and that her past was somehow connected to, I assume, the grand catastrophe that took place many years ago that caused a lot of the world to get wiped out. So I guess we're going to find out about all that in this act. I was kind of expecting things to be done when we discovered the Snatchers, but we still have a little bit more here. Act 3. Let's see what the deal is.
With the start of this year's Kyoto Summit just 3 hours away, the delegates from the participating countries are beginning to arrive at the conference center.
Yeah, so they still have to discuss what they're going to do about the Snatchers at the Kyoto Summit.
A major poll of domestic and international opinion carried out just last week shows that the vast majority of respondents favor a complete quarantine of Neo-Kobe as a means to combat the risk of the Snatcher.
A complete quarantine? Like Escape from New York? We're just gonna wall off the whole island?
Now that the Chief's death has been confirmed, it won't be long before they strip us of our Junker authorization.
Yeah, that checks out.
They will be deciding how to handle Neo-Kobe at the summit in just 3 hours.
There are rumors that they're going to use nukes on the city to make sure the Snatchers are wiped out.
Excuse me? Nuking the whole city?
Come on, this is the 21st century.
That may not be as improbable as it seems.
Uh-oh.
The world's leaders are extremely concerned about the Snatcher problem.
The Chief was going
This
to
is
calm
more of a
hysteria
worldwide
in his
problem.
speech at the summit, but that'll never happen now.
That the Chief was a
3 months
Snatcher.
ago,
Yeah, that's definitely not
government
gonna
pressure on
calm
Junker
anybody
operations
down.
Increased dramatically. Gillian's transfer here was really our last chance.
Our own chief was snatched. It's not too surprising they don't want to trust us anymore.
Yeah,
Heard
that kind of
the
reflects
Army and
badly.
FBI are going to take over operations now.
Really? The FBI?
That too will be officially decided in 3 hours' time.
They don't even
3
work
hours,
here.
eh? Is there any way we can find their hideout in that time?
If we don't, we and everybody else in this city are finished.
As far as they're concerned, we're just like a cancerous tumor that has to be cut out.
We have to hit the Snatchers' headquarters before then.
Gillian,
Well, we gotta figure that out fast then.
If we only knew where it was, I should be able to manage something.
Hitting their outposts like Queen's Hospital won't do any good. We have to find their main nerve center.
Yeah.
What about the memory of that Snatcher who was impersonating the chief?
Just like the others, it was completely blanked. It's a
Of
form
course.
of self-destruct mechanism that they use.
We don't have anything from Chinshuo either, do
Metal.
we?
What about tracing that video phone call from Jamie?
There we go.
It was no good. The
Oh.
call didn't last long enough. Still, it definitely did come from within the city.
Well, that's something at least.
Where are they hiding?
Gillian, can't you remember
Is there any
anything
place
else?
that's like
Didn't Jamie
super
say something
Russia
that implied you
here?
were somehow connected to the Snatchers?
Nothing. I can't remember a damn thing. Metal, I want you to tell me everything you know about me. Why was I sent to Junker headquarters? Where did I come from?
Gillian,
Metal.
The chief's dead. Tell me everything you know about
Yeah,
me.
that authorization
well,
junk is gone now. Please tell me what's
you
going on.
see,
Metal!
all right. With the chief gone, you are the highest ranking officer here.
Yes,
You
thank
knew
you.
all along?
Of course.
Now tell me what's
Where were
happening.
we rescued from?
3
Siberia.
years ago, you and Jamie were taken into protective custody in the Siberian Neutral Zone by the 17th Siberian Investigative Force.
Now why were
Precisely.
we there?
You were discovered in cryogenic sleep pods in an
Oh.
underground bunker near Moscow.
Cryopods.
Cryogenic sleep pods? You mean they were frozen?
So we were
This
from
is a
way back
photograph
when.
of the bunker. There is no record of when you were placed there. In addition, the third pod was empty at the time you were discovered.
And there was a
There were
third
3
pod.
pods?
You were revived and taken into custody by the army. Apparently, as a result of the extended sleep, both of you suffered from complete amnesia.
Ah.
However, another theory suggests your memories may have been intentionally erased. This is the only piece of evidence found at the site.
That's Harry.
That's Harry's picture.
I
from
knew
when
it.
he was a kid.
I put it together. So Harry was our kid.
That's correct. Harry is Gillian and Jamie's son. It's been confirmed by DNA tests.
I figured that out somehow.
Harry? Harry was my son?
Using the information gained from the photo, it was established that you are Gillian Seed and your wife, Jamie Lorraine. Both of you are American citizens, born in the late 1960s.
Born in the 60s?
In addition, both of you vanished without a trace in 1989. There is no other information available about you after that.
So that's when we went into cryo sleep, huh?
Yes. You come from a world that's been gone for 50 years.
Well, that explains how he knew
But what does that have to do with
Konami
the Snatchers?
characters.
When the 17th Special Investigative Force was bringing the two of you out, there was an accident.
Oh.
The two of you were all right. Most of the 17th was killed.
What?
One of them was a Snatcher. Of course, before their departure, they all underwent thorough examinations. So, if one of them was snatched...
It had to be somewhere in Siberia, right?
That's correct. And in order to attempt to determine the origin of the Snatcher, as well as your true identities, you were assigned to Junker headquarters. The hope was that exposure to the Snatchers would help you regain your memories.
Moscow? 50 years ago?
Almost
Yeah, what
everyone who was in
was
Moscow
going
at the time
on there?
was killed in the catastrophe.
So Gillian and Jamie are the only living witnesses?
So we had something to do with the catastrophe, I would imagine.
Harry was my son. Did he know?
No.
Yeah,
It
Harry
was
had no
highly
idea.
classified information. He was never told.
I was never able to do anything for him.
We didn't play catch at all. Me and my boy.
Gillian, didn't Jamie say something about taking a boy hostage?
Yes.
That's right. They must know about Harry and are using him to threaten her.
We have to find their headquarters quickly.
Oh, well, Harry's
We've only
dead.
got
Don't
3
worry about
hours.
it.
Gillian, let's think this all through
Jamie,
again.
don't let him use
We
ya.
may get some kind of a hint out of it.
You're right. There may be some clue in the way they're operating.
All right. Let's go over what we know about them.
Okay. First of all, what's the Snatcher's weak point? Hitting you in the head. Oh. You're talking about their main weak point, UV rays. This is the Snatcher's weak point? That's correct. Their weak point is their defective artificial skin. Long-term exposure to ultraviolet rays causes mutations in the melanocytes in the stratum basale of their skin, which becomes cancerous. Specifically, long ultraviolet rays in the 250 to 350 nanometer range is responsible for causing the cancer. That's right. And that's the reason why they're so limited as to when they can go out. They can only come out at night in the middle of the winter and wear sunscreen even then. That's the method that Jean used to figure out what the Snatchers were up to. How ironic. It turns out that the destruction of the ozone layer actually had a benefit for us humans. Oh, okay, so the ozone layer is just completely ruined now, huh? Well, that means everybody should be wearing sunscreen when they go out, not just Snatchers. That's right. Now, what method were they using to move and be able to avoid ultraviolet rays and sunlight at the same time? Well, we're just quizzing me over everything I've learned so far, huh? They used the underpass, I guess. The tube liner, that's what they call it. The tube liner is the correct choice. The underpass. This is the method of movement that the Snatchers were using? That's right. They were using the abandoned tunnels of the old tube liner system to get from place to place. That's how they were able to move around without being noticed. Nielsen's apartment, the old factory, Queen's Hospital. All of their hideouts were connected by the tube liner. So maybe there's a tunnel under their main base as well. Yes, this is a good line of thought. If we can find a map of the tube liner system, we might be able to figure out where they've built their main base, I guess. There's a good chance of that. Next, what phenomenon was always observed at any location where Snatchers appeared, including the underground tunnels? Snow 9? Oh, sneezing. This is the phenomenon you're talking about? That's right. And what was the cause of the sneezing? The pollen, Snow 9. This is the reason for the sneezing. This is the reason for the sneezes. You're correct. The sneezing was caused by the presence of the allergen Snow 9. Snow 9 is an artificial form of pollen developed by the military, and its presence is limited to certain regions. They were using it to interfere with radio transmissions and keep people away. They probably were producing it intentionally themselves. The only regions of this city where Snow 9 is still present are areas around the Ina River. It has been cleared out of other areas because of the danger it presents. Okay, so a place that the tube liner goes through that is near Ina River. So that means that their base must be somewhere near the Ina River, right? That is a fair conclusion. They are probably somewhere near the Ina River, protected by the Snow 9. Accessible to the tube liner and near the Ina River. And we must not forget the 3 photographs that we found the Snatchers with. All of them were related to the Soviet Union before the catastrophe. The map on the wall of Nielsen's apartment. The picture of the temple in the director's office at Queen's Hospital. The photo of Red Square hidden in the chief's office. Why do the Snatchers keep pictures and memorabilia like this? Maybe they're homesick. Maybe that's where they come from. Homesick? Get serious, Mika. They're robots, you know. Let's analyze this a little closer. What city is related to all 3 of these pictures? Moscow. This is the city that they have in common. That's correct. It's Moscow. Moscow must be where they come from. That must be the basis of their programming. You might be right. Just as people have a hometown that is dear to them, their creators may have put a hometown into their programming. They use very advanced artificial intelligence systems, so they may have needed something like that to maintain their emotional balance. Yeah, they were born out of nothing, but they needed to give them some kind of image as an emotional base. So Moscow is their creator and their home. And the place that they found Jamie and I.
In other words, this homing instinct thing of theirs has led them to set up their headquarters in some place that reminds them of home, or their creator.
What part of this city is like Moscow?
Moscow's really cold, right? They get a lot of snow, don't they?
Snow?
No snow has been recorded in Neo Kobe in several years.
Well, then that's not it.
River.
Wait, what about that pollen? That crystal bioengineered stuff, Snow 9?
Yeah?
Now that you mention it, wasn't it snowing on Jamie's video phone call?
It was.
That's right.
Actually, yes, it was,
Has to
and
be
she was
somewhere
calling from
close
in
to the Ina
town.
River.
So that means it
Ina
has to be
River
near the
flows for
Snow 9
miles around
pollen.
here, Gillian. We could never search it all in time.
Gillian, let's look at a map of the areas investigated so far. This is an enlarged view of the southwest portion of the city around the Ina River. This
Okay.
blue area is that in which Snow 9 is present. Now I'll superimpose a chart of the abandoned tube liner tunnels. From this, we can establish those areas with Snow 9, which are accessible by subway tunnel.
Damn. Nice
That's
try,
still
but
quite
it's
a
still
bit.
too large. We could never cover it in 3 hours.
Don't give up so fast, Gillian. What about that image of home thing we were talking about? Maybe there's some kind of geographic similarity. Maybe the same view can be seen or something.
Yeah, is there a place
I'll
that
display a
looks
map
like
of
Moscow here?
alongside.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that looks
What's
exactly
this?
like it. So where's the Kremlin at in that photo on the right?
The rivers are exactly the same shape.
This is the Moscow River over here.
It looks like we're on the right track, Metal.
So they're in,
What's the location
yeah,
of
they got to be in the
Jamie?
Kremlin, but in Neo Kobe.
Right here.
Metal, before the catastrophe, what was at this location?
The headquarters for the entire Soviet Union, the
Yep.
Kremlin.
Okay,
The Kremlin? That
Got
Snatcher
it.
said something about taking Jamie to their Kremlin.
we know where to go now.
What spot in Neo Kobe would match up with the location of Moscow's Kremlin?
Calculating.
Calculating.
This is the spot. It's presently occupied by an old church.
An
It's
old
rather
church.
large, but reports indicate it's been abandoned for nearly 20 years.
And it's right in the middle of the Snow 9 and subway area.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Yeah, that's gotta be the
That's
spot.
Their headquarters. Their new Kremlin.
Gillian, let's go.
Yeah, let's
Wait,
go.
Gillian. I want to go with you.
Sorry, Mika.
Mika, I don't know
I'm a
about
junker
this.
too, you know.
I know, and you're a great one at that.
So take me with you then.
You head to the summit to warn the delegates. They haven't given up, you know.
The summit's in Kyoto. I'm not going to be the only one to run.
You've got to convince them not to use nukes on Neo Kobe.
We
Yeah,
found
please
her.
tell them not to
There's
nuke
no
us,
need now
Mika.
to sink the whole island.
Yes, but...
It's a tough job.
We got it figured out.
Okay, Gillian. I'll do what I can.
Thanks. Thank you, Mika.
Don't say it, okay?
Let's go, Gillian.
Gillian?
Yes? What's wrong?
How about dinner sometime?
Oh, here we go. Good thing I didn't sniff her. Didn't act
Mika.
like a weirdo around
Not
her.
interested.
Hey, Mika.
It would be nice, you know, to kick back, relax.
No, I'm interested.
Christmas
I'm
after
totally interested.
Christmas, huh? I'll be back by then.
Gillian, we have to hurry.
That's a promise, right? I heard you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Making a promise like this, I don't know.
church first.
Gillian, are you gonna live through
I'll
this,
see you soon,
dude?
then.
Okay, Metal. Let's go.
I'm worried now. Now that we made a date with Mika. I feel like our death flag might have just been planted. This is the last turbo cycle. The last turbo cycle. The last unicorn. Alright, look at it. The spare turbo cycle has not been painted, but that does not affect its locomotive functions. Okay. The area. The parking lot has become rather lonely. Yes, there's not much going on here now. Investigate it. It appears quite safe. It has not been tampered with. Okay, good. Investigate the area. Do not read any motion. You and I are the only ones here. Okay, well, I think we're ready to go then. Let me check our time. Okay, yeah, we got some time. Enter the turbo cycle. Alright, now boarding the turbo cycle. We've boarded the turbo cycle. Where would you like to go? Of course, I know the answer to that question. Yeah, we're going to the church.
I've input the map data on the Kremlin's locations. Lift off.
Lift off. Yeah, let's go. Probably save once I get there, but maybe that'll be okay. But yeah, I feel like this
Flight
is
configuration.
probably going to be
navigating
pretty
altitude.
difficult. This is going to be like the end stuff here.
Jamie, please be safe.
Gillian, please keep in mind that we're working with a strict time limit.
Yeah, 3 hours, right?
50-year debt in 3 hours.
Man. We gotta hurry.
Snow!
Snow 9.
To be specific,
Yeah.
we've entered the Snow 9 region. Please put on your breathing filter. Direct inhalation is dangerous.
All right.
Radio transmissions will also be impossible from this point on. Understood?
Wait, does that mean I should have saved before I came in here?
Now descending. Conversion to hover configuration complete.
Okay, I think we're fine though. No worries.
Gillian, we've arrived.
We made it. Alright. Oh, I can go back to Junker HQ, huh? I'm just like, nah, I don't want to be here, actually. Let's leave. Exit the turbo cycle. Whoa, this church looks crazy. You've arrived at the church. Wow. Now I can see why they call it their Kremlin. Let's go ahead and save while we're here. Yes, that is a good idea. Thank you, Metal Gear. I knew it was a good idea. We'll save here. That was where I saved before this, so we're good. Save completed. Would you like to continue play? Yes, continue play. Alright. Look. Building. It's a very old church. It bears quite a resemblance to St. Basil's Cathedral. No doubt they thought the same thing. The building may be patterned after a traditional Russian church. It's quite old. Look at the snow. It appears to be snow, but it's actually Snow 9. Try to avoid inhaling any of it directly. Look at area. It's surrounded by a large grove of tall cedar trees. This is likely to keep just about anybody away. Given the season, a few Christmas lights would really liven up the scene. Okay, listen. The only sound is that of the wind. Listen again. It's perfectly quiet, okay? Investigate the motion detector. I'm not reading anything at all. I doubt that. Or are they just not moving? The building is about 50 years old, but appears very well maintained. So where's the entrance? I mean, is it the door on the front? Yeah. On the front side of the building. Come on, Gillian, keep up. Investigate snow. This is definitely Snow 9. Investigate area. A sensor scan reveals that a tube liner tunnel passes directly underneath this area. Well, that's no surprise. Looks like we've got the right place. Okay, yeah, go inside.
All right, now opening the door.
What's wrong? Won't open?
I've scanned it, and it's not locked. It is probably rusted into place.
Oh.
Not surprising. After all, our friends always go in and out through the basement.
Yeah, they don't use the door.
Let's push it together.
All right.
Give it a kick.
1, 2, 3.
Boom! What we got?
That got it.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, what's going on here in the church? Oh, the music got really ominous. What is this? What's this?
It would appear to be some kind of a chapel for the Snatchers.
Are you telling me those things pray? To whom?
No doubt to their creator. That portrait on the wall is probably a representation of him.
Is it a picture of me? Oh, it's Jamie? What? Look at the portrait.
This person is no doubt the one the Snatchers worship as their creator.
Doesn't it look kind of like Jamie? Oh, it's random. Oh, right. Random. Modnar, right? Random backwards is Modnar. Dr. Modnar. Ah. This guy. Isn't that random? Well, it's definitely a lot harder to tell with his hair like that.
One moment. I'll compare the data with my data on random. Where the facial bone structure is of the individual in the portrait, while the facial bone structure of the individual in the portrait is nearly identical to that of random, a positive identification is impossible, as the picture is not a photograph.
It just looks too much like him to be a coincidence.
Now that you mention it, the person in the portrait does look like Random Hajil.
Look at chairs.
These are the chairs for worshippers in the chapel, no doubt.
Look at the area. Everything is nice and orderly.
It's as if the pre-collapsed Soviet Union has been recreated here.
What? What? Listen.
The whole area is exceptionally quiet.
So have they already left for the summit?
Just us and the wind. That's all I can hear.
Investigate. Portrait.
Something is written on the painting. The creator, Modnar.
So, this is Professor Modnar. The one that the Snatcher was talking about, eh?
It appears to be a portrait of that person.
Investigate portrait again.
Based on the condition of the paint and canvas, I would say that this portrait was painted over 50 years ago.
Huh. Okay. Investigate chair.
There were a number of scratches on the surface. They were almost certainly caused by the Snatchers.
They keep moving the chairs around, but they keep scratching them up. Investigate.
It's all very organized. Almost inhumanly so. There's another room farther back.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so now I found the next thing. Motion detector?
I'm not showing anything out of the ordinary.
Okay. Got a little bit longer, so let's continue on.
Now moving into the back room.
It's very dark here. Metal Gear, you want to turn on your light? Oh god, that's a lot of Snatchers. Snatchers! Look at them all!
I'm not picking up any energy readings. They are all deactivated in some kind of suspension mode.
So, this is their warehouse, eh?
There must be a few hundred of them here. They continue all the way back.
Still, this doesn't look like a factory to me. Yeah, this feels more like a storage. This is like a barracks, almost. Look at Snatcher.
These are endostructures which have yet to have the artificial skin installed. The bone sizing devices and skull slits are all still set to the smallest sizes.
So their victims haven't been chosen yet. They're all just waiting their turn.
They almost look as if they could spring to life any moment. If this many Snatchers were to all start moving at the same time, there's little we could do. Yeah, that would be pretty bad. Look at area. There seem to be a number of containers stacked up in the back of the room. Look at the containers. What about the size of these containers? The volume of these containers would be just perfect for shipping one of these Snatchers. There is no doubt. This is no doubt how they got here. Okay. These Indo-structures were all shipped here in these containers. Okay, investigate the Snatcher. None of these Snatchers appear damaged. All they need is their energy packs. The gender units have yet to be installed, however. Listen. It's perfectly quiet. Listen again. Okay. Investigate the Snatcher again. They are preserved in excellent condition. It appears that they undergo regular maintenance. Okay, investigate area. I do not see any tools or equipment for maintaining anything in the area. This room would appear to be just a storage area. Investigate the area again. Unlike the chapel, there are some scraps and dust on the floor here. Investigate the container. There's some kind of label here. 23rd Siberian Investigative Force. Interesting. Siberian Investigative Force? It would appear that these Snatchers were brought to Neo Kobe from the Siberian Neutral Zone. It seems that the investigative forces have been responsible for shipping the Snatchers. Huh. So they're connected to it, huh? In other words, the investigative forces have been snatched, just like when they found us. Oh, wow. So we're saying that you're saying that the route of the Snatcher invasion goes all the way into the investigative forces? I feel like they were infiltrated from within. And they're being used for this purpose without realizing it, but he seems to think that they're all just snatched, huh? I see. So the Siberian investigative forces bring the Snatchers out of Siberia and into storage here. Storage? I think you're right. I think you're right, Metal. And then the Snatchers just wait here in storage to be reactivated and adjusted after their victims are selected. A rather efficient system. I wonder where the actual snatching takes place. The back part of this room may hold the answer to that question. Investigate with your motion detector again. Not picking up any large movement signals. Investigate the container again. The containers were definitely brought out of Siberia. I can detect traces of contaminants unique to the region on the containers. Okay, listen. This whole area is exceptionally quiet. Take a look at our time again. Okay, we'll continue back one more. Are you ready, Gillian? Now heading for the room farther back. Oh dear, what is this? Snatcher's culturing room. The mechanism is operating. Okay, well we have certainly stumbled onto something kind of crazy here. Book cylinder. Gillian, there are Snatchers with their artificial skin already installed here. Look at cylinder again. These units are nearly ready to perform a complete snatch. Look at snatch process. Oh.
This is where they fuse the artificial skin onto the Snatcher's endostructure. First, they adjust the size of the still skinless Snatcher to the size of the individual who is to be snatched. The Snatcher's overall shape and size can be adjusted by expansion or contraction of sizing rods. Their sex is controlled by gender units, which are installed at this point. Then, the face is modified to match the intended victim by adjusting the size of the upper and lower jaw, cheekbones, temporal bones, and tooth alignment.
Just like Gibson said, that means there are limits to the size of the people that they can snatch.
That's right.
Oh
The limits of
yeah, I
the
remember
mechanism
that coming
mean
up.
that they can't snatch children, the elderly, or people who are very tall or heavy.
Yeah.
And this is where the artificial muscle is attached.
Is it organic?
No, it appears to be coated with a type of plastic gel capable of mechanical response. Like human muscles, it creates mechanical energy through chemical reactions. And this is where the artificial skin is attached. In order to prevent the synthetic cells, developed using biotechnological protein design techniques, from rejecting the inorganic material below, they attach it gradually over a number of days.
And this is the stuff that gets cancer if they stay out in the sun too long.
Finally, they attach body and scalp hair. The process involves transplant of synthetic hair follicles as well, so the hair will grow back if it's lost.
What about scars
Wow,
or birthmarks?
It would appear that they make those adjustments at this point in the process. as
Yeah,
they
this
look
would be
for
the
wrinkles
time.
to simulate age.
Huh. Okay. Look at area.
A computer terminal is installed on each preservation cylinder.
Look at area.
There are tubes and wires running all over the place. Please watch your step.
I don't want to go too far because I don't want to get into more than we can get into for today. So I think this is where we're going to stop for now. Big mysteries unfolding right now. We'll be getting into the rest of it tomorrow. I think we probably must be right at the end, so probably not too much more to get through in this one. Hopefully we're able to figure out the rest of what's going on with the Snatchers tomorrow. It seems like Random is connected to this all as well, though I am a little confused as to why Random saved us if he's also the person who created them. But I guess that little bit of it's going to come together, and we'll figure out what's happening with that. Anyway, that's where we're going to end for today, so if you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. My name's Scarecrow, and we'll find out what's happening with these Snatchers, hopefully tomorrow. Bye-bye!